Folks, welcome to the Denny Cards channel. You are not watching Rudy. This is not Alpha Investments. My name is Denny Cards, and the algorithm has brought you here. Thank you so much for being here. So, if you especially collect and invest and flip Pokemon, TCG, Magic the Gathering, you will know that this conveys a lot of power, okay? This makes someone seem educated. This makes someone seem like they know what they're talking about. There is also another hobbyist content creator. His name is SCV Sportscards. I'll link both Rudy Alpha here and SCV because these two gentlemen need some more props. They make some really good content on YouTube, okay? So I am not either of those individuals. I am me. My name is Denny Cards. I've been in the hobby for I've came back the third time in 2022. Okay, so I've been doing this for 2.5 years. After having left the hobby for college, having left the hobby to raise a young family, I'm back. I'm in my early 40s, and this is going to make it seem as if I know what I'm talking about. You may be watching this and go, he has no idea what he's talking about, and that's fine. I've been thinking about making this content. If you are at all familiar with my content, you know that I overthink things, I overanalyze, but I figured I need to just do this, okay? I like to emulate people's styles, but also Rudy and SCV didn't come up with the whiteboard to convey information. This is not something that they have a patent pending claim on or anything like that, okay? So let's get into it. Why are we here? It's not talk about content creation. It's not talk about overanalyzing. It's about doing very basic, simple math, and math that I hope is right. I don't know if it's going to be right. You may get to the end of this video and think you have not learned anything, and that's totally fine because that's what this is about. I'm not just here to tell you what I know and it's all gospel. I want you as the viewer to critically think and then put down your comments. Think and then put the comments down. Don't just put comments down and then go, oh no, I made a mistake. I said something dumb. I mean, I guess you can. I mean, I'm doing this, right? So here we go. The main reason we're here is because I want to help you or help me figure out how much money you need to make as a dealer at a card show, whether it is sports or non-sports cards. So how much money do you need to make as a dealer, as a vendor, as someone who's on the other side of the table, someone who is not, someone who is a member of the walking public, the walking dead? How much do you have to make? So let's use the board. Okay, so let's go. How much money? How much money, US, American, so that's $1. How much money do you need to make? And there's a shadow here. Don't worry about that. That's I can't work. I got to work with what I got, okay? How much money do you need to make as a dealer? To, and this is the important part, okay? To offset eBay fees. That's the question that I hope in the next, I don't know how long this is going to be, like 10 minutes maybe. That's the question that I want to tackle here, okay? So there are some things that I want to strip away variable-wise to make this an easier calculation, okay? So here are some variables that some of these, content creator types, people who flip full-time, people who travel, okay? So this is the main thing, it's travel. I want to strip this away, okay? I do not want to talk about flights or transportation. Let's call it, I think the kids nowadays call it transpo. I don't know. Flights, transportation, lodging. I won't say hotels because, as we know, people do Airbnb, people crash on couches, whatever, to make it work. Lodging, and then food. We always need food. All of us need food. So we're not going to be including any travel costs, okay? So what do my notes say here, actually? I do have, oh, no, that's it. Table cost. Yep. So we're going to get rid of those variables and we're just going to be talking about one thing here, and that is the cost of a table. And to make it very simple, like I don't know where you're watching this from. You may be watching it from middle America. You may be watching it from California, New York. Most people, I think my demographics say that you guys are watching it from one of the big states on the coast, bi-coastal states. Very few people are watching internationally. I do not know how card shows work outside of the United States of America. I will say that. I have set up as a dealer. I should have said that earlier. I have set up as a dealer, not many times. The last time was August of 2023, 2024. So it's been a while. But I've set up as a dealer probably about almost a dozen times by this point. I am not one of these people who travels to shows often and like they do the circuit. I mean, we'll get into the like time value of money. Like there's a lot of things that happen where you need to make it work. You are going to sacrifice a lot of your weekends to travel. But I'm not talking about traveling dealers. This is about you potentially in America, whether it's small town or big city, how much you would have to make as a dealer at a local show to offset the costs it would be to sell the same amount or same card on eBay. Okay, so the table cost can range from, I have seen it as cheap as $40. Again, your area it might be like 25. I don't know. $40. There's like 6-foot tables, 8-foot tables, and these are all 6x3, 8x3. Those are, again, this is, I don't want to have to keep saying American or English, but we're talking about feet here. We're not talking about meters or I don't know, whatever else, yards. We're talking about 6-foot by 3-foot tables or 8-foot by 3-foot tables. They range from $40 to the local show to, I mean, this, Fanatics Fest, they're like selling these tables for like $3,000 for a booth, okay? So we're not talking about a booth. We're not talking about travel and all that. We're talking about, so I don't want to make it a $40 because that's going to make the math a little bit too hard. All you have to do is the number at the end, just divide it by half roughly, okay? So we're going to talk about a table cost of $100, okay? So again, like I know some of these regional shows are going to be $400, $500. Just do the multiplier at the end. So we're talking about $100 table, okay? So for a $100 table, how much do you have to make? How much do you have to sell to recoup the cost of the table versus how much would it cost to sell that same amount on eBay, okay? So eBay fees, that's the other thing. eBay fees can be variable as well, right? If you're like a power seller, if you're like one of these big consignment houses, auction houses, like you are selling like at somewhere in the single digits. We're not talking about those type of people, right? We're not talking about the 4%, 5%, 6%. We're talking about the people who are selling at 15%, okay? That's like a new eBay seller. I, as a top rated seller, which I'm very glad to have, my margin or my percentage is like 12% because you get, I don't want to get into math here because this isn't about that, but you're somewhere like 13.5%, and then you knock off another 10% of that 13.5. So, I'm roughly at around like a 12% clip. We're not going to worry about this too much. It's going to make the math too hard. We're going to go with 15% and $100 right there. I'm already running out of room, so I got to start erasing stuff. So eBay 15, table cost 100. That's what we're going to work with here, okay? Let me get rid of all of this. And let's start back here. eBay fees 15%. And we got table cost of 100 USD, okay? So if you sell, now the other thing I should have mentioned, and I do apologize, is, again, this is my first time. Rudy, SEV, they've been doing this for years, months, whatever. Like they're very experienced. You're getting like a novice. You're getting a young Padawan trying to do this, okay? So I'm trying to derive the power from this whiteboard. I haven't done this type of content yet. So but if you like this, maybe I'll do more. Just leave a like, comment, subscribe, and maybe I do more of this. Or maybe this is the last time I ever do this, all right? So here we go. Table cost, $100. eBay fees, 15%. What I'm about to do, the math here, is gross not income, not profits, gross sales, okay? Because I'm not going to get into what you're into the card for and, you know, like what your net profits are. This is just gross sales. How much do you have to sell at your table to recoup the cost of the table versus what it would be to sell the same amount of cards on eBay? Okay, so eBay fees 15%, table cost $100. Hope you're following along with me and you understand what my caveats and variables and all that are. And in the comments, you can destroy me and say that you missed this, you missed that. That's the internet, right? So if you sell $100 card or a slab, whatever you want to say, right? Just $100 card, eBay is going to take away 15%. Okay, so they're going to take away 15%, and that you're going to be left with $85, right? I mean, I hope that makes total sense. I hope that's easy. So you get that $15, and you're going to say, okay, I need to make more sales for it to recoup the cost of the table, to be at a break even point. I haven't thought about this too much. This is the x-axis, that's the y-axis. At a certain point, so if the table cost, oh man, I'm gonna really screw this up. Let's say the table cost is like 100, and then you're making money. You're making money $15. At a certain point, you're gonna be making like this is you want to be here. Okay, you don't want to be here. This is like the $15 for every $100. At a certain, you're creeping up. At a certain point, you are going to be making like more money at your table than like your eBay fees. Oh my gosh, I totally screwed that up. We're gonna get to that. We're about to get to that right here. Okay, so hope you can still see me. So $15 for every $100 sold. Again, gross sales, not profit, not income, and all that stuff. But $15. So you're gonna get $15 for every 100. Okay, for every 100. So if you do 200, like if you do another 15, right? That's $30. Okay, that's $30 in eBay fees. I don't know if you can see the math real close here, but that looks like 3 of those is going to be about $90 right here. Okay, 3 of those, another one of those. That's another 30. That's another $30. This is another $30. Okay, this is another 30, and then for good measure, we have another 15. So that's $200 right here. Okay, 200, 200, 200. This. Oh, and then 100, and this. That's $200, $400, $600, $700. Okay, you have to sell $700 in cards for you to get to $105 in eBay fees. Okay, I hope this math works. So $105 in eBay fees, you have hit somewhere close to a break-even point with the table cost. Meaning, if you sell more than $700, let's say you sell $1,000, you would be paying more in eBay fees, but your table cost here is fixed. Oh, that's how I should have called it. Variable cost and fixed cost. I'm gonna get better at this, but this is my first time ever making this content, okay, guys? And I'm doing this in one take, no edits. Let's just go ahead and run this through. So we're looking here at $105 in eBay fees for every $700 sold on eBay. Whereas if you sold $700 at your table, you are going to be now anything after $700 for a $100 table. We're not talking about 2-day weekend. We're not talking about 2-day shows. We're not talking about hotels, and we're not talking about traveling. And we're gonna get to the time value of money, because then we can do like the minimum wage calculation and how absolutely miserable that can be. Or maybe I'll make that into another video, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it here. But table cost $100, $700. This is my math. I may be completely off by this. You can let me know, again, in the comments. Critically think first, and then do the math on a napkin or your T83 calculator, whatever you want to do. And then let me know that this is incorrect. But my guess, and again, I have the whiteboard here, so I have the power. My guess is, or my thesis, or my, I don't know, something like that. So my guess is for every $100, you would be giving $15 to eBay. You're chipping away. You're chipping away 15, 30, 45, 60, 75. Oh no. 90, 105, right? So that's what I'm trying to say here. So every $100 you're selling at your table, you're going to be incrementally going up. For some people, $700 in sales is nothing. That's one card. That's like a half of a card. That's a third of a PSA 10 slab, Slabby Patty, Genesis, Case Hit, Swirly Ball, all that stuff, right? For some people, though, and I have seen this, I mean, I will say straight up, I've set up as a dealer almost a dozen times. I've been to many more shows than that. I've been a show ambassador, which I can talk about another time. But I've been at card shows in many different capacities. And what I can say is there are some vendors, especially in the local shows, who will literally make 1 or 2 sales for an entire, 5, 6, 7 hour show. I have been one of those people. I will admit, I, like many things in this hobby, the barrier to entry is incredibly low. They don't even have age requirements. I've been to some shows where the vendor is there with their dad, and it is like literally a 12-year-old boy. Okay. I don't think, say what you will about that. That can be another content as well. But I think to stream on Whatnot, all you have to do is be 14 without adult supervision, which again blows my mind. And again, on Instagram, if you want to sell on Instagram stories, you can be any age. I guess you could be like a 4-year-old and sell. I think when it comes to eBay, I think you do have to be at least 18. But again, I'm not sure about that. What I do know is that the barrier to entry is incredibly low in this hobby for both good and bad. It allows anyone, it's almost like an Uber. Anyone can drive. If you can drive, you can work for Uber, so long as you don't have like some criminal background. Same thing with like, Whatnot. You can sell, again, I don't want to get into all the Whatnot requirements and all that, but to set up at a show, all you have to do is there has to be an opening, there has to be a vendor, you have to know the show promoter, and you have to pay them. And sometimes not even before the show. Some show promoters, the ones that are old school, they allow you to pay like near the end of the show in cash. And if you don't, then you're banned forever and you'll never sell again there. But what I do know is that there is the fun component of this, but again, the business. None of this is fun. All of this, like, I love fun content. None of this is fun content. This is like educational, or this is math, this is money. This is the financial aspect of the hobby, the transactional side of the hobby. And I know I'm trying to get better at that because I have not set up as a dealer in a very long time. So again, that's why I'm taking up the travel costs, and that's why I'm stripping away a lot of the variables to make the math easy on this. So what I know is that with a low barrier to entry and a pretty reasonable cost, again, this could be $40 or $50 in your local card show, you can, if you want to give it a shot, have what is called, oh man, I kind of didn't want to delete. Well, all right, well, it's too late. What's done is done. I don't know how much more I'm going to talk about this concept, but you know what? It wasn't in my notes. What was in my notes? Pretty much. Yeah. Expect trolls, I think I wrote here. Okay. So it's table equity. Now, this is what people pay the privilege of, because I think there's a lot of people who are savvy, who are walking around as members of the public, who they have been dealers in the past and they will be dealers in the future, but they want to walk around. The table, what the table does is it tethers you. You have to sit at your table and people have to come to you. And what you are supposed to get, and I think, I'll be honest, my opinion, I think table equity is becoming smaller and smaller and smaller. But table equity allows you to buy at margin. How should I say? Table margin. I don't know. Should this be an up arrow or down arrow? I don't know. But what it allows you to do is say, hey, I'll buy from you, member of the public, but I'm gonna have to buy at again, like 70 is some of the lower numbers, 70% to 85%. And you're going to say, hey, I want to buy it 70 to 85%. Buying, a lot of these people say, buy, buy, buy. I'm buying, I'm buying, I'm buying. Doesn't matter. Some people buy strong, some people don't. And then what they want to do is sell between 90 to 100% or more if they can. Sell at 100 to 90%. So a lot of people are playing within this margin right here, 10 to, I don't know, 10 to 20% margin. I mean, they would love higher margins if they could. But I've seen dealers, they will literally buy from a member of the public, re-sticker it with a little bit higher price, and then try to sell it to someone. And I have seen this happen a lot. They'll sell it like anywhere from between like 5 minutes to an hour later, or it'll just sit in their inventory for a while. But this is, you get to pay for the privilege of this table equity. Doesn't mean you're always going to get it. You have to be a savvy negotiator. You have to be a savvy just talker. Is that the right word? Talker. Well, clearly I'm not talking well right now. But what you need to do is see if it's worth it. See if you're good at it. I mean, there's some people who are natural born salesmen. Some people who are smooth talkers. Some people who can't, who literally will shell up. They will completely turtle in and go, oh my gosh, they'll freeze. I've done both. I've had some shows where I flow. I feel like deals are flowing. I'm in a flow state. It's almost like, and that does come with experience, I think. But I remember my first couple of times setting up, you're a little nervous. You don't know what to do. You're like, are my cards good enough? What am I doing? So I am kind of getting into more of the psychology of being a dealer, definitely a newer dealer. So that wasn't the intent of this particular video. So I think I'm going to end it here. The main thing I did want to talk about was that about $700 number for a $100 table, because that's accounting for that you're trying to see what the break-even point is with the eBay fees. So that's my thesis, okay? Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you like videos like this, I'm not going to edit it. This is my graphic. I don't have to overlay anything. I don't have to put any charts up. This was my entire video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Even if it wasn't educational and you think I'm a complete, like that this was like a waste of time and this is terrible from an educational standpoint, I hope that it was at least entertaining. So thank you so much, and I hope that you have, I don't like ending, stop. Okay, I'm done.